So official. So glad that you are here. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jessica Lanier, and I'm one of the coaches that leads these Thursday night calls. I know that Abby's going to be jumping on here with us in a minute. So that the motivational speech that we were listening to is one of my personal favorites. I'm going to put the link in the comments if anybody wants it. But when I'm feeling like exhausted or discouraged or beat down or any of those correlating emotions, I listen to this and it pumps me up and reminds me, especially in this business. Like I know most of you are newer to coaching, and I truly believe I've been doing this for 5 years now, and it is such it is such a privilege. And I feel like in this job, the reason why some people just don't stick it out is because you literally are going to battle for people every day, and you're going to battle for yourself every day, and that's exhausting, and it's not something that everyone feels led to do. It's so much easier to just like to coast along, right? It is much more difficult. It is, I will say, it is a challenge to be the voice, to be the light in the darkness, to be the inspiration when everyone's discouraged. It really is a unique opportunity that we have. Everyone can do it, but the people who actually take that step forward and decide to really do the work, the internal work, and to show up for ourselves, and then also be that voice of encouragement for other people. It's the most fulfilling and powerful role that we have, that our world needs more than ever, but it's not always easy. And I think you all know that, right? But we're here. It's like parenting, right? It's so fulfilling and it's so challenging. It's like, this is why I wear headbands a lot, because my kids very frequently give me gray hairs a lot. And so oh man, right? Okay, so this I almost said this morning. This evening we are talking about getting started. And I know a couple of you that are on here. And I know that some of you are not brand new coaches. Like you're past that initial like, I have no idea what to start. I just signed up. But this I'm going to share with you tonight is applicable for everyone. Even to me, 5 years into the business as a 5-star Diamond Elite coach, it's very easy to forget this, what we're going to talk about tonight. But it's what is going to be key to you keeping the joy and being successful Star Diamond, 15-star Diamond that you want to be in this business. Are you ready? So, the very, very, very first thing that's so important, and I know that you've heard this, it is your own program. It is your own journey, and it's clarity on what you are doing. And if you're struggling with figuring out what you're doing, that's where you talk to your coach, right? That's what our job is. And so, for example, for me, so everyone, if you can write anything down, I want you to write down what program you're doing or what challenge you're doing. It could be anything, but you need to have clarity on what you're doing and you need to be excited about it. So if you're not excited about the program you're doing or the challenge that you're doing, you need to change it. And that's okay. I have changed, I have pivoted in the middle of so many different programs and different challenges. I'm like, this is actually not what I need right now. And it's exhausting me. Who wants to invite someone to something that's exhausting them and that's not fun, that you're not looking forward to, right? That's why this is number one. It is absolutely number one. So on my team, I teach about the 5 elements to a healthy transformation. And so, and I'll bullet point those for you really quick to make sure that you have this down. So you need to pick a fitness program or an approach to fitness. For me right now, I'm doing what's called the 30 Worthy Challenge that I created. This is the beauty of coaching, is that you get to be as creative as you want to be to make it work for you and make marketing, and marketing is just telling people what you're doing and what your business offers, right? And so I created a 30 Worthy Challenge where I'm doing 2 workouts a day. Well, guess what? I have 3 little kids and life is so crazy and busy for me right now. I know that those workouts need to be in the 20-minute range. And so I am doing Beachbody's 20-minute workouts. I use the filter on Beachbody On Demand, if you didn't know that they have it. where I see all the 20-minute or under workouts, and I pick one of those a day, and then I go on a walk or a jog with my kids on their bikes once a day. Those are 2 workouts, and that works for me, and it brings me joy, and I'm getting results, right? So for you, maybe that's, something like that, or maybe you're doing Lift 4, or maybe you're doing Let's Get Up, an actual program. But have a specific clarity on what you're doing for your fitness, because that's part of our job. Number 2, your nutrition program. Part of my 30 Worthy Challenge is sticking 100% to my nutrition program for 30 days, with the exception of one treat a week. And so I follow To Be Mindset. It fits my lifestyle way better than the containers do. But To Be Mindset, it's very easy to follow and very easy not to follow. And that's where most people get hung up, is that they'll say, I'm doing To Be Mindset, but they're not really doing it. So that's my clarity on my nutrition. I'm doing To Be Mindset, and I'm sharing about that daily in my stories. It gives me something to talk about. Number 3 is your supplements. What supplements are you using? What products are you using? At this point in my business, I pretty much use everything in our tool belt with Beachbody. So I'm having a muscle margarita in the morning. It's what I call it. It's hydrate, collagen, and energize. And then I do my workout and I have my Shakeology Recover after. Whatever fits your budget, your lifestyle, your goals right now, highlight what supplements you're using. Nutrition, fitness, supplement. Number 4 is the mindset component. So what personal development are you doing? This is a vital behavior and is essential to our business. So write that down. For me right now, I'm doing 2 things. I'm doing a Bible study called Truth Filled, and I'm doing the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership workbook. Those are my mindset tools that I'm using to keep myself motivated and in right perspective every day and strengthen myself. You have to have that too. And then guess what? You're going to share about it in your stories. It gives you something to talk about every day, and it ensures that you're growing. And then the 5th component is support. How do you need to be supported in your journey and in coaching? You need to write that down. These 5 elements to a healthy transformation will get you results when you do them. And then you're going to turn around and all you're doing as a coach, and especially in the beginning, is you're saying, hey, this is a really cool comprehensive approach to true foundational health and wellness. I know someone else out there needs this. Who wants to be an accountability partner with me? And I can set you up with the same program that I'm doing. So that's the first thing, right? Is setting yourself up with clarity of what you're doing, your program, how it fits into your life. So maybe for you, that's listening to a book while you're driving the kids to school. It might not be sitting down for 30 minutes reading a book. I know that does not work for me right now. You have to figure out what works for you and brings you joy, because once you have clarity on that, that leads us to the next step. Kelly, the 5th point was support. So like what kind of so that would be like bod groups. What are you doing to stay accountable? You're tracking your workouts and your Shakeology in the bod groups. I also have a text message thread of early risers, fit early risers, people who work out between the 4:30 and 7:30 a.m. Pacific time hour, and they can get motivation on there. They can say, hey, I'm awake, who's working out? I have a Zoom, like a 24/7 open Zoom link where people can work out together on Zoom if they want to. Those are things that work for my team. So those are support options. So for you, what do you do to get supported in this journey? Does that make sense? So when you have those 5 things outlined, you should be excited about what you're doing and where you're going and the results that you're going to get. And when you're excited about anything in life, what should a natural person want to do? Keep it all to themselves and say, "Oh my gosh, I don't know what people are going to think of me, that I'm doing this scandalous thing of working out and eating healthy." No, right? What do you do when you get an amazing facial, or you get an amazing mascara, or an amazing massage, or you eat this incredible restaurant? Naturally, you tell people. You tell your girlfriends, you tell your mom, you tell your sister, you tell your coworkers. Oh my gosh, I had the most amazing dinner at this place last night. There's a restaurant here that has the most incredible, like fresh food. It's like It's like a 4 5 star restaurant that's right next to a gas station. Nobody knows, like it's so bizarre. And I can't tell you how many people I've referred there because I'm so excited about, like, I love the food. I want to support them. So coaching's the same. Get excited about what you're doing, and then number 2, you're going to make your list. You're making, oh, I'm sorry. Number 2 is not that. Number 1 is your journey. Number 2 is you're making an announcement. Now, if you've already done this, I'm going to challenge you to do it again. And here's why. Someone told this to me one time and I will never forget it. You are the only person on the planet who sees all of your posts on social media. You are the only one. It doesn't matter how good it is. It doesn't matter how vulnerable it is. It doesn't matter how good of a writer you are. It doesn't matter how pretty your pictures are. You are the only person who sees every one of your posts. And it's so easy to adopt the mindset that, oh, I already talked about that. I already talked about my divorce. I already talked about trauma when I was a kid. I already talked about my anxiety. I already talked about my eating disorder. So I'm people are going to get so annoyed. I'm not going to share that again. No, 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 no. This is where you really connect with people. And if you're growing your social media, like we've taught you how to do, and adding new followers and engaging with new people, connecting with new people, those people that joined today didn't see yesterday's post or last week's post, especially not last month's post. So you have to consistently re-announce yourself, reintroduce yourself. And here's some pointers. I'm going to put these in the chat too, that might help you if you haven't done an announcement post. All an announcement post is, especially if you're brand new to this, I personally don't advocate saying, "Hi, I'm a Beachbody coach. Like, you should order from me." That's not what this is about. When you How I personally, especially being a professional in the health industry, I'm a registered nurse and holistic health coach. I think people respect you more if you just invite them to your journey in the beginning, because you're just now showing up and saying, like, what if your past habits have been really unhealthy and you come on and you're like, all of a sudden, I'm a health coach? People are going to be super confused by that. And then you'd be like, how did I just saw you in the McDonald's drive thru yesterday? Like, what is happening? So it's hard to establish credibility and trust. And so the point of an announcement post is more of, this is where I was. This is what I've been struggling with. What was it that sparked you to make that decision to start this healthy journey? Why are you going to change your habits? Where are you going? What was it? And this is going to be different for everybody. So for me, I had just, when I started, where I was is I just had my first son. I was diagnosed with moderate to severe degenerative disc in my low back, and I was having to go back to work. I worked as a prison nurse, and I worked 40 to 60 hours a week. And my background in fitness, I was a college athlete. I did CrossFit through a lot of my pregnancy. I've always been like, I love to exercise and do it to where it like hurts you. Like, I was that weird girl that spent 3 hours in the gym. Then I had a baby and no time, and I couldn't do the classes anymore, but I needed to heal from pregnancy and I needed to heal my back that the doctor said I couldn't fix. And so that's where I was. What sparked my decision was I had these time restraints and I wanted to be home with my baby. And I saw with 22-minute hardcore, I could do a 22-minute workout in my living room with my newborn. And I could do that before work. And I saw that Shakeology was full of stuff that was going to help my energy, my milk supply, my stress support, my digestive system, and help me lose weight. And I saw that it came with this awesome meal plan that told me exactly how much I needed to eat a day and how to meal prep. So to me, it was a no brainer. That's what sparked my decision. But this part's super important too. You say, this is what I'm doing. I would love to find like 5 people to do this with me. 5 other women who are looking to work out from home in like 20 minutes a day, and we can keep each other accountable. Who wants to do this with me? I shared my coach's results because when I started coaching, I had no experience with Beachbody really. I had no experience. I never tried this program. I hadn't even gotten anything in the mail. So I shared my coaches before and afters from that program. or I Googled other people's results and I shared them. And that was like my announcement post. So for you, you're going to want to share, I think I copied this. Let's see. I have the bullet points didn't come through, but I put it in the chat here of some pointers of how to make an announcement post on social media about the new journey you started. Let me tell you guys something. There's a tidal wave coming with Beachbody. A tidal wave, and now we have to start swimming right now to catch it. I heard that from, I think it was Trina Gray on a call, and I was like, this is so true. With Beachbody On Demand Interactive, the game is changing. With our mix fitness bikes, home fitness bikes, the game is changing. With us becoming a publicly traded company, our pockets are much deeper. Marketing is going to be off the hook. Everywhere people are going to know about Beachbody. You want them to come to you and not go on the website or not go with somebody else. It is not a good feeling when you have a family member or a really good friend who signs up with Beachbody and not with you. I'm sure it's happened to Abby and Melissa. I know it's happened to me, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you've inspired me so much. I went online. I've been a coach now for 6 months," and I'm like, "What?" It's like the worst feeling. Well, how can you prevent that from happening? Be your own billboard and post about it often. Talk about it often. So you're going to make this announcement post. So you've got number one, you've established your journey. Number two, you're making this announcement post. And if you're not doing a lot of your business on social media, that's okay. Have these conversations in person. Write an email, send text messages, reach out to your high school friends. When you, and I've said this on our previous call, but I'm going to remind you, because some of you, I'm saying that and you're internally like, I could never do that. I can't send a text message to my best friends. What are they going to think? They're going to try to think I'm selling to them. I'm going to remind you, Gwenda, because I use Gwenda as my space name saver. It's not about you. It's not about you. My life has been forever changed because of this. So if I let my own pride and self-awareness of what people may think of me get in the way of them, my dearest friends and family members, having the potential to get incredible life-saving and life-changing health results, that is on me, and I'm being a coward. And I've been there, so this is not judgmental. It's just when someone told me that, I was like, oh yeah, no. This is about them. And some people will not be ready to receive your gift, and that is okay. So that leads us to the third step, making your list. I was going to bring my notebook out here. My kids are super loud, like savages inside, and so I'm sitting outside right now. And I have a notebook, and I was thinking to myself the other day, I was hitting really high, not really high. I mean, good Success Club numbers that were between like 25 and 50 consistently for a while. And I was thinking back, like, what was I doing during that time? It was nothing fancy. You know what it was? It was a notebook, and I lost it. It was a notebook that I wrote down conversations I was having. And if my Success Club goal was 25 for that month, I had to be having at least 25 ongoing conversations in that notebook. And what I do is I write down the person's name, and then I write down just little unique traits about them that they've shared with me, like their goals. This is after we've had a conversation. So I was having at least 25 to 35 different ongoing conversations over time with people about their health. And they had either expressed interest in working with me, or I had invited them and they asked me questions. That's when I write them in the book. It's not just people I've invited, it's people I'm actually having a conversation with about health and fitness, about some element of it. And so I'm going to challenge you to make a list of 20 people. If you've never invited anyone to be a part of what you're doing, write a list of 20 people you're going to invite. 20 people that you're going to offer this gift to. Right? 20 people whose lives you could change. 20 people. That's it. I encourage you to have the first 10 be people that are close to you, and if you run out of people, then the second 10 be people that you've engaged with on social media. This is the beauty of social media, you guys. It's not there for us to receive anything. It's there for us to give. and to be a light and to be an inspiration and to be a a change, an inspiration of a change of a way of living rather than being glued to our phones and stuck in fear and gossip and judgment. When people come by, scroll by your post, you want them to feel inspired that they could be the best version of themselves no matter how hard life is, no matter how much they hate the person they see in the mirror. When they see your post and your face, you want them to say, because of you I didn't quit, because of you I decided to try, because of you I didn't give up, because of you I want to be a better mom, because of you, if you can do it, I know that I can do it, because your life's crazy. And I've I've heard that a couple times. you know so make your list of 20 people. I do not want to hear from anybody that you don't know 20 people to invite to this, because it is not true, I promise. Get deep. There is a really awesome memory jogger. Google Beachbody Coach memory jogger. Google that. And it has a bunch of different points of triggering your memory to think of all the people that you know. You know hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of people. Or go through your Facebook friends list A to Z. You can also do that. And I mean, don't just spam people, like make connections with them. But I want you to send 20, or I want you to make a list of 20 people. And then what are we on? Step 4, I think. Step 4 is to write a message, a sample message that you're going to send them. And I want everyone to do that on this call. Okay? So I want you to write out or type out a sample message. Renee, what part did you want me to repeat? Sorry, I missed that. Unmute yourself or retype it maybe. And so what is this message going to say? This message is going to be, it depends on the person. I will say that if you've already had, like if you've already talked to them. Oh, the memory jogger. Beachbody Coach memory jogger. I bet you if someone does it right now, you could probably post the link to it in the chat. I was saying, oh, write your message. What's it going to say? So here's a sample of what this invite's going to say. I should have pulled this up sooner. Maybe I'll find it while you guys are writing your message. It's just going to be a genuine invite to step number 1, to your journey, to what you're doing. And you're going to say, let's do a sample one. I'll say a sample one to one of your best friends. Hey Liz. Oh my gosh. I have to tell you something. And granted, this needs to sound like you. If you wouldn't say that, then don't say that. So check out this chick's results that I just saw online. Send a picture. I decided to do a program. It includes these short workouts at home, a nutrition plan, this shake that I'm really excited about the ingredients, and I'm excited because I can do it from home even while I'm working full time. I want to get in shape after having baby. You should totally do this with me. Are you in? So something like that would be what I would say. And I will send that message. And I would send that probably same message. And I did send that same message to my mom, to my sister-in-law, to my mother-in-law, and to another best friend. And that is how I signed up, wanting nothing to do with coaching. I literally told my coach, I want nothing to do with coaching. I don't have the time. And she said, no problem. If you want to invite people to the group I'm running to do this program with you, you're more than welcome. Since you have a coach account, like, let me know. And so I sent that message to those 4 people, and they all 4 were like, yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. This would be so much fun. And I asked them for their credit card information, their social security number. And I didn't even ask. I signed them up as coaches because in my brain, I didn't know the difference. I was like, duh, you're going to want the discount. So give me all this information and I'll sign you up for you. And within 3 days of signing up, I had 4 coaches signed up. I didn't know any better. And that's how my business started. So I'm going to stop talking. I'd like for you all to write a message, a sample message that you're going to send to I mean, it's going to probably change a little bit with those 20 people that you're going to send to this list of 20. And again, if you've been around for a little bit, this might look a little bit different for you. Maybe it's a follow-up message of people you've already talked to. Maybe it's people, you're going to send this message to people who like or comment to your announcement posts. But I want you to have it written. Once you have it written, if you can type it, I want you to put it in the chat, please. If you're writing it, then that's fine. You don't have to. But I think that it's going to be a powerful accountability piece. Okay, so I'm going to give you, we're going to do 5 minutes to write out this post. Abby, do you have anything? Sorry, I'm like taking over, but do you have anything with that?
No, literally everything you said, I'm just like, yes and amen. I went live on our team page actually about some similar stuff of just, and one thing, if you guys are on my team, we've talked about doing is, there's a name for it. I'm forgetting what the like word is, but doing like, I've been doing 30 worthy. I know just we had the same idea. Like, I swear. But having the check off on my mirror every night to go through and check that off is creating some buzz in my stories, and people like to watch your journey. And so if you need to find some way to do this of like, how can you show up, like she was saying, with excitement with your results, like that makes the inviting so easy. Because I'm like, guys, I'm on day 9 of this or whatever I'm on right now. And like, so just even little simple things like that. If you're not getting results and you're not excited, all the rest of this is going to feel inauthentic and spammy. And we don't want you guys to be doing that.
Absolutely. Awesome. Okay, 5 minutes, guys. Write those messages, put them in the chat if you can. And the purpose of this is so that if you need any help or you're like, I'm really stuck, we don't want that to ever be an excuse ever again. We understand that these are hard to craft, and I don't mean that in a mean way. We want to help you. We want to help maybe adjust some things so that it sounds better or be more well received. So that's why I'm asking you to all do this. Okay. I'm gonna put my inspo guy back on.
Fear dies, choked out by the scream, the desire to climb and live out my dream. Take it for the team. Discipline reigns. I wanted too bad to listen to the pain. I'm a winner. To God be the glory. Tragedy and setbacks, an inspirational story. Warriors like me, we were strategically designed for the struggle. Many before me gave up and quit. Acted all bad till the first time they got here. But see, blood don't scare me. I fear not death. Whatever it takes, champion, to be the best of the best. I was made for war. I cry out to heaven, blessed and unstoppable, an immortal legend. Climb, I say, the unclimbable mountain. Kicking and punching, I just keep on pounding. I found it, that deep desire to win. I remember defeat and I say, never again. See, warriors like me, we were born and strategically designed for the struggle. Way of the warrior, champion eyes, get back up, my spirit rise. Fear dies, choked out by the screams, the desire to climb and live out my dreams. Take it for the team, discipline reigns. I want it too bad to bow to pain. I'm a winner, to God be the glory. Tragedy, setbacks, an inspirational story. Many before me gave up and quit. Acted all bad till the first time they got here. Blood don't scare me. I fear not death. Whatever it takes, champion, to be the best of the best. Climb, I what we do. I'm Billy Allsbrooks, blessed and unstoppable. To God be the glory. Success is a war over the invisible. It's having the faith and vision to see what could be, can be, and will be when consistently watered with an undeniable grind. Truth, the language of those who are truly alive. Soaring on wings of faith, they gracefully fly, radiating the power that they found down inside. Wrapped in fire, watch the chosen climb. Something in them refuses to be denied. Seizing the moment they know the time has arrived, refusing to doubt or believe any of his lies. We call these people overcomers because they know how to climb. Everywhere that you look around you, you can sense that people don't want to see you succeed. But I'm gonna plant this in your spirit. The fire and truth on the inside of you will make room for you, whether the haters like you or not. Doubt is the best salesman that there's ever been. He gets up every day and knocks on your door trying to sell you on the lie. Aren't good enough. But those who can sit in silence and still believe shall one day hear the music of that which they believe for. Each time you face something you fear in truth, you go to a deeper level of growth, awareness, and personal power. See, the fire grows inside of you when you own and accept everything about you. Time to stop running. Three types of people in this world: those in the game, those on the sidelines, and those in the stand watching. The time has come for you to make a decision right now. Which one of those three do you want to be? Climb. Now you could tell when somebody's about to go to the next level in life, because you can see it in their eyes. When the world turns their back on you, climb. When the whole world calls you crazy because your dream is so big, climb. And when you feel like you are at the end of yourself and that you can't take another step, still climb. The most difficult and pivotal times in your life, you will have to travel alone. Those
All right, if you guys are still working on it, keep working. I want everyone to have something. Renee, thank you for posting yours. And Elena, thank you for posting yours. Renee or Elena, do either of you want help with it or do you feel good about it? Either one of you? Uh-oh, you're muted.
Hi. I mean, I kind of just threw it together right now. Like I've done these before, so I had different ones kind of going in my head. So I would definitely tweak it a little, but that was kind of just like the top of my head. So
Love it. So the ones you've done before, do you have them saved somewhere that's is easily accessible?
oh my gosh, I have like my problem is I love these things and I have no organization, so I have to like go through them and find them.
No worries. So here's a tip for everybody, and I'm glad this came up. I highly recommend you having something like this invite, or maybe a couple versions of them, and a sample follow-up message saved in the note section of your phone. Because when you go to work or on your computer, it depends on if you're working from your phone or your computer. When you go to sit down for work, this is our goal. Like as mentors in this business, it is not our goal for you to work a lot of hours a day. I can't tell you how many times Melissa, Abby, and I reach out to each other on a daily basis and are like, I haven't worked out all today. Like, oh my gosh, this has been the craziest day. The goal is not for you to sit in front of your phone or computer for hours a day. That is not a successful Beachbody coach. Our goal is for you to have short intentional periods of time that you're working so that you can live your life. And I think it's really important that we address that. And so if we're going to be efficient with our time, we have to have things in a place to where if I sit down for an hour on my phone to work or for 20 minutes, right? I have that invite in my notes section. So I have my list and I'm going to go follow up with those 20 people with this message, more or less, following up with them. And I know exactly what I'm going to say. So it's pretty much copy and paste. So I'm able to get through that list so quickly versus not like rewriting out a message to all of those 20 people. It's going to take me much longer. So I recommend having something in the note section. This is for everybody, having something in the note section of your phone. If you're a Mac user, like the notes section on your iPhone is on every other Apple computer that you have, which is super helpful.
You can also, like on Instagram, if you guys do quick replies, if you're like in a DM, and I know it's hard to see, but if you pull up your phone, you'll be able to see it. But if you're like DMing someone, you should see in the spot to write a message a little text box with 3 dots in it. If you click on that, you can save quick replies. You can save like your invite, or like if it's a message that you have to triple check to make sure you change the names. Like, not like I have sent them before and I just want to die, and I'll get them and I just want to die for them. So like you can't, you're working, I tend to work fast and be sloppy, and that's like an issue in my own self. But that's a really helpful thing too, where you can just kind of literally copy and paste it that way. But I do the same thing as Jess, where I have them saved on my, like I have them saved all over the place so I can use them rapidly.
Do that.
Smarter, not harder. Renee, you said, I still struggle because literally everyone I've invited, with the exception of one person, said no. Are you Justice she yours? No. Renee, are you on? I'm assuming you're on Melissa's team or in the downline somewhere.
Yes. Michaela.
I am.
Okay.
I'm under Michaela.
Okay. How new are you as a coach? Like, how long have you been a coach for?
I signed up at the end of February, but I didn't start working out until the middle of March. And then it took me about a week and a half, 2 weeks before I finally started posting on social media about it.
Okay.
But I've literally invited my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister-in-law, my cousin, my other cousin, a couple other family members, a couple other friends, and literally everybody has said no, with the exception of this one friend. And I was so happy to get her on board. And now it's like she's hit or miss. It's like I do a workout here, I drink a shake here, and I don't know. I don't know what else to do.
Have you counted how many people you've invited, Renee?
It's probably been close to 20.
Okay.
Because there were a couple people on Instagram too that told me they had interest, and so I sent them sample workouts and followed up with them, and then literally just got ghosted.
I know Jess has something really good to say, and I'm going to let her like have the mic drop because I've heard her talk. But what I will say is your statistics are right in line where mine are. I know for about every 10 people that I invite, I may get one person. So if you've invited 20 people and you've gotten one person, there's nothing wrong with you. That's not
okay.
Right. So it's as easy to say 6 years in. Yeah. It's not easy. I mean, and there's still days, like, to be totally transparent, I'm not at Success Club yet. I will hit it. It's not non-negotiable in my business, but I'm not there yet this month. But I had to take the emotion out of it, realize that when people didn't say yes or they ghosted me or whatever, it was not a reflection of me. There were maybe things that I could tweak or change in how I was presenting on my social media or things like that, but they weren't ready, and that was okay. And it didn't mean that I was a failure as a coach or going to fail this business. So I'm not telling you go send 200 invites tonight, because I don't want you spamming the internet. Obnoxious. But your statistics are right on track. But I think what often happens with new coaches is you invite 3 people say no, you get super discouraged, and then you're like, I suck as a coach, no one wants to join me, I'm a failure. And then it makes you stop posting or inviting because you feel like you're not good at it. And then when you do that, then you really never make progress anywhere. So I want to just challenge you, like, I know it's hard to take the emotion out, but just keep showing up. And the more content that you put out of sharing your journey, your transformation, you showing up every day, you're going to have more people to invite, because there's going to be more interactions on your stuff and things like that. And I'll switch over to Jess, because I know she has like some bomb advice on this too.
No, I thought that was amazing. That's one of the things I was going to say is make your goal 100 people before you ever judge yourself. That being said, the point of doing this, and I'm so glad that you shared, Renee, and all of you, like, I'm so happy that you're putting these in the chat, because we also, as coaches, we have to be teachable and to know, okay, this isn't working, so you have to come to your coach, your upline, and say, this is the invite I'm sending, or these are the conversations I'm having, and they're not working out. Could you give me some feedback and see if there's maybe a different way I should handle this conversation? Because all of us, myself included, and I have experience in this industry, did not do well in conversations in the beginning. I did not. I said things that now I'd be like, what was I thinking? So don't get hard on yourself, because it's just part about being teachable and learning. The only way we learn is by doing it wrong and then learning from that. So that's the first thing that I would say. Secondly, it's very hard to be a prophet in your own land sometimes. It's very hard with family sometimes, with some people's family members, because just like I said in the beginning, if you're someone who hasn't always, I'm not saying at all this about you, Renee, at all, but if you've never really been the person that people come to for health and fitness, and all of a sudden you say, come to me for health and fitness, your family doesn't see you in this new light. Your family sees you in everything, in your whole, years of existence. And so it's hard sometimes for our family. This is hard for me, and I am a health professional, right? There still is family members and my husband and my mom, still that's like, mm. So don't get too hard on yourself. Sometimes it's easier to establish trust with strangers on the internet than it is for people in your own household. So if the only people you reached out to so far and gotten reactions from have been your family and your closest friends, for some people, this isn't the case for everybody. For some people, that's just going to be the way that it is. The other thing I would say, as reading through your email, your message, is I don't feel your energy. This is something that's really important. When you are writing a message and you're sending a message, you want people to feel your excitement. And I don't know that sometimes that's like you're adding emojis in it, and I know you can't do that here. Sometimes it's exclamation marks, and sometimes it's the way that you speak. So, for example, here, Renee, I see. So you wrote, "Hey there, I've recently started a new journey." So here's one tip on here. Instead of saying, it almost feels like you're saying, hey there, hey, to get it out of the way, and then you want to talk about, I know this is not what you're trying to communicate, but it may feel like you're wanting to talk about yourself. Hey, I want to talk about me. I've started this new journey in life. And so instead, you can say, hey, so I don't know who this message is going to, but if it's someone on your social media, you could say, hey, thank you so much for your whatever that may be. Thank you so much for your likes on my post. Thank you so much for following me on my stories. Elena, I like how you worded it. I noticed that you've been following my journey on Facebook. Thank you so much. So you're starting by acknowledging and appreciating the person. And what that does is it makes people read more. It makes people actually read your message and be curious, like, oh, they appreciated me. That feels good. I want to hear what they have to say. Versus going in, and I used to send messages like this to Renee. I promise you, this is not you. This is for everybody's benefit. I used to send the same ones. But when you start with, hey, this is about me, I want you to know about me, instead of making about them, that instantly could be a turnoff and why you may not be hearing back or getting a good response. And then absolutely in that, like after you say, thank you so much, you absolutely have to address your journey, right? As you've seen by me showing up, show up on social media. If you're inviting from social media, show up consistently so that you can say this. As you may have seen, or if you've been following my journey, you see that I've been doing these crazy workouts and I absolutely love them. They've changed my life already. Or I've noticed a huge bump in energy already, or whatever transformation already. I would love to have you ever thought about doing this with me, and like keeping it super simple. If you're showing every day your 5 elements of a healthy transformation, they're going to know it includes nutrition, fitness, mindset, supplements, and support because you're showing that on your stories every day. This is why marketing is so important. Otherwise, they're going to have no idea what that looks like. Does that make sense? So it kind of makes crafting your invites a lot easier when you're showing up consistently. Do those tips kind of help, Renee, a little bit?
Can I share while she's thinking? Can I share two things really fast for you guys that just echo off that? So I will 200% say energy matters because I can say the same exact wording. And if I'm in my head or tired or grumpy, I swear somehow that comes through the computer. And so if you're in a funk, I honestly do this still 6 years in. If I'm like, I don't want to my invite, I will stop and I'll either drink some Energize. I'll go look in my challenge group at the girls crushing it in there. I'll go read through. I will save messages that people have sent me that have been really encouraging to me and remind myself of how freaking grateful I am for this business. Like, we are not selling candles to people.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with candles. Like, we're changing people's lives. Like, that's amazing. Like, it's such a gift, you guys. And I think we get in our heads about it and we don't want to be spammy or we get discouraged, all the things. But like, what we get to do is truly a gift and a privilege. And so, like, first get your head straight before you send those invites, because I swear, even if you're literally copying and pasting, that excitement comes across. And then the second thing, and I think, Jess, you used a similar analogy, but if you're on my team, you've heard this a lot. I always liken it to I was planning my daughter's birthday party this last month, right? And I was sharing where I got the stuff on Etsy and like Hobby Lobby and like, here's our cake and all this. If I had just been sharing that in my stories and my posts, how excited I was for her birthday, and you're following along like, oh, and you're voting on my polls, like cute unicorn cake, whatever. And then I just slap a story up that says, great, Paisley's party is Saturday at 11. You're totally welcome. You're not going to show up at my house, right? Just because you see that in my story and I have a generic, you're welcome, you're not going to come unless you're my best friend. If I send you an invite and say, oh my gosh, Kelly, I would love if you could make it to Paisley's party. Like, no pressure. I know you've seen all the fun stuff we're doing. That feels different. People want to know they're wanted. And sometimes because we portray ourselves as having so much success, we have to kind of have this like really positive front. People don't realize you're just waiting for one person. You just want to help 3 people and they like may not want to bug you or they think you're too busy. It's weird, they do. So just honestly, again, like Jess just said, making it more about them than about you and putting yourself in their shoes really makes a huge difference. And then doing those follow-ups too. I try to do, like when I'm on my A game, 3 to 5 invites a day. I'm not sending 100, but at least 5 invites or 5 follow-ups, because oftentimes people, they're not sitting by their phone waiting to buy something from you, right? They forgot the laundry, someone knocked on the door, the dog ran and knocked their kid over, like life happens, and they may not be ghosting you intentionally. They honestly just may have been too busy to follow up with you. And so just coming back around and sending that, hey, I just wanted to check in, that shows them what kind of coach you're going to in your group. Are you going to just leave them hanging? And so sometimes, again, we get in our head about those because we're putting ourselves in it, as opposed to saying, how would this be portrayed? And if you're coming across and sending them a nice voice message or, something that's not icky and you're putting the correct name in and all those things, that reads. And then you have your social proof, like Jess was just saying, to back up everything that you're telling them in that invite. They're going to go before they respond. They're going to go see your results. They're going to go check it out and see, does she have the proof to back up what she's telling me she does? So little soapbox, but that always helps me.
No, that's super important. Super important. And I love the other invites in here, you guys. I feel your energy through it. I feel your transparency. Huge. It's really awesome to end with, I'm sorry I haven't invited you sooner. I'm sorry I haven't followed up with you sooner. I do that all the time. I learned that from my coach. Even if they have not responded to you and to your invite, always end with, I'm so sorry that I haven't followed up with you sooner. My kids' life's been so crazy right now. Because
I think
always want to make it about you. Sorry, go ahead, Kelly.
that's okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was watching a really dear friend of mine the other day, and she was talking about energy and how sometimes when people don't respond to her certain ways, and she used to instantly take it personally and be like, man, what's that person's problem? Now instead she looks at it from a more compassionate way, being, well, maybe they're going through something, or maybe their life has been crazy, or maybe they're having to take care of their mom. Who knows? We automatically jump towards, we're kind of just being brushed off or something, versus maybe there's just something going on with them. And I think when you have somebody reach back out to, like what you're saying, Jessica, you're like, oh, I've been meaning to reach out to you. I'm so sorry. My kids have been busy with soccer or whatever. It makes them think, feel genuinely like, oh my gosh, they care about me, versus like I think we were talking about it in the new coach chat the other day, where you get those random texts that say, hey girl, and you're like, do I know you? Like, versus, hey, I'm so sorry I didn't follow up with you. You've been on my heart though, and I just wanted to reach out and see how you're doing.
Absolutely.
Totally.
So good. So true. And I've sent that follow-up message to people who've ghosted me like 7 times.
Sometimes life can just get so overwhelming though. Like, just because I'm going through something right now where I'm like, oh my God, I can't respond to one more person. But when I get that nice message like, hey, I'm just thinking of you, it's like, thank you. I'm so happy somebody's thinking of me, so it can just make a world of difference just from a person to person perspective, I think.
Oh, true. Thank you.
That actually happened to me today. I somebody from Instagram had messaged me about the new Shakeology and that I had posted about. And then so I was chatting with her about it. And so she was like, oh, I'd love to get it. So I'm like, oh, cool, telling her more about it, getting things set up. And then I was like, I brought up the coaching. I brought up, the discount and how I love it and all this stuff. And then like, I didn't hear anything. It was like radio silence. And I'm like, oh my God, she hates me. I'm a horrible person. She thinks I'm terrible and I'm selling her something. And then like 20 minutes later, she's like, oh, thanks so much. Can't wait to sign up with you. Like I was just doing this or whatever. And I'm like, really, Elena? So yeah, it happens. I totally get in my head all the time.
Or how many, I love that, because how many of you, or how many of us, this happens to me too, you actually do want something, like you really want to go, you want to order something, you're like, oh, I keep forgetting to order that. I keep forgetting to order that. I clicked the link, it didn't work. Oh, my kid like jumped on his brother and started crying, and I totally forgot. So we do people a service, like you were saying too, Kelly. We do people a service by following up with them, because we are the only ones thinking about Beachbody as often as we do. They're not. They haven't experienced it yet, so they don't know that it's friggin' the best thing in the whole planet. Was this helpful, guys? This call, like talking through these steps, because
Oh yeah.
okay, good.
And we're here, like, drop in the new coach thread if you guys are struggling like with a response, like, or like just share. That's what that whole thread is for, because we will pop on, and I know there's other leaders in there too that can help you guys. That's what we're here for.
I think it was really good taking the time to write something out, because I think once you get off the phone, sometimes it's like, oh yeah, I'll sit and do that. And then it's like, oh, or I might watch the episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I can't confirm or deny, so when I have this dedicated moment where nothing else is taking my attention and I can kind of think through it, and then I can, adjust it as I need to, as I look at the words and go, oh, or I hear something that one of you have said and I can like, oh, maybe I'll move this around, so I think that was really helpful for me.
Good. Yeah, set a goal. Like she said, don't judge yourself until you send 100 invites. It's the 10th right now. I would, like, my personal goal is to be sitting at Success Club before our next call next week, because I'm not there yet, and I will. And so I just like to give me, so don't, and I want to challenge you guys, like, don't give yourself till the 30th, because then you're just going to feel burnt out and stressed and like, oh, life starts all over. Like, so just get it done this week. Like, go send those invites and then keep your foot on the gas, but like, just give yourself a week, and let's like check back in next Thursday and see where everyone's at and celebrate those. Like, as you hit Success Club, as you help people, shout yourself out in our thread. Like, let's just kind of keep that ball rolling with stuff.
I hope if someone is not in our message thread too, please message your coach so that we can get you in there, because it's been super, super valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome, you guys. If you have not yet, like, copy your invites and paste it somewhere, because I'm going to close this chat thread and you're going to lose all those invites. So if you liked anyone else's invite and you wanted to kind of use something similar, please copy that and go paste it somewhere so that you have it. And yeah, we want to know in the thread too, once you message those 20 people, please celebrate yourself in our message thread. Go ahead, Abby. Do you have something?
I was just going to say super quick before we pop off, because it's Thursday, I want each of you, if you can't unmute, that's okay, but type in the chat. I want to hear one win from your week this last week. Because we don't celebrate those enough, and we just get in our head of like, oh, I haven't been successful, whatever. Like, I want to hear like what's something super that you're really proud of, and it can be even that you talked on your stories. I don't care, but like share something you're super proud of from this last week before we go.
Yes.
I hear you guys.
I've been posting a lot in my stories and actually doing videos in my stories now.
Yay.
So,
That's
and
so
it works
good.
because I just signed somebody up today. So, yay.
People like to connect with your face. They
Yes.
like know you. That's so exciting. Yay. Go you. Thank you.
I think for me, I am still not consistent with my workouts, and that's where I struggle because I have that imposter feeling. But anyways, that's a whole nother conversation. But I did get in more workouts last week and a couple of, doing 21-day fix in the morning and getting a run in the afternoon. So I was super happy about that. Was it what I wanted it fully to be? No, but it was better than it was. So I'll take those wins,
Yeah. Growth. That's awesome.
If you can't unmute, that's okay if you're able to type.
Maria said she started making reels and getting more consistent with them. That's cute.
I have to shout Maria. Maria is in my downline. I am not her. I'm like her great grandma coach or something, but she has lost over 100 pounds.
What?
Yeah. Her transfer, if you go look her up on Instagram, it's Maria_I_Gomez. And it is amazing. So I just have to give her huge, because that's a legit thing.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Renee, if you're able to, that's great. If not, how about you, Jess? What's a win from your week?
Oh man, I feel a little bit of rhythm coming to my life. This 30 worthy challenge is so needed for me. Like, so needed to really refocus on, especially once you've been doing coaching for a little bit. It can get really easy as your business grows to get stuck in the spending a lot of time in more of like leadership and mentoring and forget that it comes down to exactly what we just talked about tonight. This is the meat and potatoes of your business, and it will be forever. So for me, doing this 30 worthy challenge and having fun with it and getting in 2 workouts a day when I was struggling getting 1 workout in a day, and knowing it's okay that they're 20-minute workouts and a walk with my family, and being 100% with nutrition. There's something that happens when you really do the things, like really do the things that you're talking about, and you challenge yourself, and then you're successful and you actually follow through for yourself. Something happens there that shifts, that's confidence and momentum and motivation, and you go from feeling overwhelmed to I can actually do this. So I've been having a lot of those, like more shifting. What are we on today? Day 10 of
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, day 10. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at my like mirror.
like, what day is it?
Yeah.
So for me, that's been huge in my business. And I'm really thankful for that.
I have the same thing. I was telling my husband the other night, I was like, I felt stagnant like 6 years in, and it's all the leadership stuff. And so just being selfish, and honestly, like my nutrition has not been, the 80-20 has been like 70-30, 64. It's fine. So yeah, I feel better than I felt in a long time, and just like in control in a really chaotic season. And that's like breathed new life and excitement back into the business for sure. It's like the best thing I've done in a long time. Awesome.
Awesome, you guys.
Thanks for sharing. We really appreciate it. Sometimes we forget to celebrate the wins.
Yes,
So.
absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Thank you everybody for being on. I will get this recording up as soon as possible. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.
Have a good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.